During the last 10 years, the one thing you could count on in the SUV segment is that the Dodge Durango would be at the bottom of the list. I mean, let's face it, the build quality was poor, comfort was compromised, and technology was definitely behind the curve. And now we have the 2011 Dodge Durango. You know, the Durango fell out of favor so much that in 2009 they stopped making it. They took a year off. They launched in 2011. This is based on the Jeep Grand Cherokee. It has a third row, which the Grand Cherokee only has 2 rows. And as you can see, the styling has completely changed. Now we have more of a crossover look as opposed to that truck-like look. There are 2 engine choices, an all-new 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 engine with variable valve technology or the 5.7-liter V8 Hemi. The V6 produces 290 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, while the V8 cranks out 360 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. There are 6 trim levels, starting with the Base Express, followed by the Heat, Crew, RT, Crew Luxe, and the top-of-the-line Citadel. Configuring a Dodge is quite challenging, so they have adopted 4 lifestyle packages that consist of the most popular equipment based on demand and market trends. Pricing starts at $30,000 for a base rear-wheel drive Durango and can top out at $50,000 for a fully loaded all-wheel drive Citadel with a Hemi V8, navigation, and upgraded sound system. In many cases, the decision to buy an SUV comes down to you, the consumer, and what you like, what you're comfortable with. I can tell you this, that driving this car for a week, several people stopped me. They were almost in disbelief that this was a Dodge Durango. And then when they got in it, went for a ride, they just couldn't believe that, you know, how quiet it was, how smooth it was, how comfortable the seats were. And they all agreed that this was a vehicle they could live with on a day-to-day basis. And I agree, this car is not that far behind the competition anymore. The gap has certainly narrowed. The navigation screen really needs a lot of work. It seems that Chrysler hasn't updated their technology in a few years, and it's about time. The map itself is very small. It's a little cumbersome to use. On the other hand, the Bluetooth was superb. It was very easy to sync up. People on the other end could hear me quite well, and I could hear them. As far as performance, I thought the V6 was adequate, but there were times when I kind of went up the hill, could have really used the V8 at that particular point, or perhaps a more powerful V6. If you look at the Ford Explorer and the Chevy Traverse, they have about 30 more horsepower than the Durango. So what's the bottom line on the Dodge Durango? Well, I'll say this, it's leaps and bounds over the outgoing model. At 18 miles to the gallon, it's right there. There's a few vehicles a little bit better, but my top 3 are as follows. Number 1, I'm still going with the Chevy Traverse or GMC Acadia. Number 2, the all-new Ford Explorer. Number 3, the Dodge Durango. So it's not bad. It's certainly moved way up the list from where it was in 2009, but still has a little ways to go.